This is the Discovery Optics ED-PRS Gen2 5 to 25 by 56 and first focal plane with a lighted reticle. You guys can pause to read that if you want. That's the specs. It is extremely heavy at 44 ounces and it's a big scope. It's 16.3 inches long without the sunshade. 56 millimeter lens, 34 millimeter tube. It does have 36 mils of vertical adjustment total, 17 mils of horizontal. It's a tenth of a mil per click. Decent field of view and honestly impressive eye relief on this scope. I really felt like I was crawling into my PST Gen 2 yesterday because I took that with me as well as the EPL4 and a Viper HST. But my Viper PST Gen 2 had considerably less eye relief than this optic. So take that for what it's worth. But there's your specs. The packaging was pretty nice, guys. It's closed cell foam. Everything fit in the package perfectly. It was packed very well. So some of the things that it comes with, obviously, you got your normal sunshade. You've got, this was the lens cap on it when it shipped, I think, so that they could get the sunshade over the ocular side of the scope. And then flip up lens caps, very similar to Butler Creek, if I had to say quality wise, very close to Butler Creek. They do have a soft rubberish material here. They seem to stay closed pretty good. You know, they're not as nice as some of them on the market, like some of the Vortex or even the Arkin that fold all the way back, but they're included, and that's nice, instead of just a rubber bikini cap, like some scopes. It came with this shim kit for leveling your scope with the Picatinny rail. You set this over the rail, you slide this in, wedge it between the flat bottom of the optic, and it will level the scope with the pic rail. In most cases, it would probably get you pretty close to level with the bore. And it does come with two different sizes of wedge because they sell two different sizes of rings. On to the rings. Comes with rings in this box, 2 extra set screws. They are absurdly high. So I don't know if you can change these. I do not think you can. I think this is just what comes with this monster. But they appear to be pretty decent quality rings. I don't have a lapping bar to lap them and tell you how good they are, but a lot of lapping can come down to the pic rail and all kinds of other stuff. 4 screw caps, 2 screw bases. They do have the torque specs right on the ring for the caps, and where was the other? Yeah, there you go. And the bases. Might have had an issue with my mounts. I'll get to that in a second. I don't think it's the optic. I think I had a mounting issue. And it comes with a throw lever in the box that you screw into the magnification ring. Comes with a battery for the lighted reticle, and that's about it, I think, for the accessories. It does come with a book. The only thing is the book doesn't give you any reticle subtensions. You have to get online to find those, which I wish the book kind of had the reticle subtensions, but we all know how to work the internet. So give you guys just kind of another brief photo here. So now let's get down to some of the mechanics, and in the next video I'll cover the glass and my final thoughts. The turrets are absolutely gigantic on this thing. They're like 1.5 inches in diameter, I think. They're big, and they've got good texture to them, which I appreciate. Nice big numbers, nice big hash marks, and pretty decent turrets, guys. They're not as defined as the Arkin EPL4, but they definitely index very well, and they're very tactile feeling. It's got a great zero stop. The zero stop is easily settable. You pull this screw off. There is a little O-ring in there. Be careful not to lose that. I almost did in the wind yesterday. You pull the cap off. there's a shelf type zero stop in here that's pulled up so that you can adjust up and down. All you do is when you get your turret zeroed, you loosen the set screws on that shelf, you push it down to the scope body and turn. There's a tab that you butt up to a notch or another tab under the turret, and that's how you set your zero stop. Then you tighten the set screws and you put the cap back on. The windage turret is just as tactile. I don't know if you guys can hear, but you can definitely control the turret very well. 4 set screws on that to set the zero. On the parallax knob, it's another huge knob. It's oversized compared to the lighted reticle knob. The lighted reticle knob is very nice. It's got good detents. It does have off in between each setting, and I would say this one could be considered daylight bright to an extent. Again, I don't know why anybody fucking cares. You're not using it as an EOTech. It's made for low light. The parallax knob is probably the hardest knob to turn. It was the stiffest, but it's usable because it's so big and it's got pretty good texture to it, so you can grab it pretty easy. It does go from 25 power all the way up, and I don't know why my phone's not focusing worth a shit today, all the way up to infinity. Now, one thing I liked about this over the Arkin is instead of going from 200 to infinity, in that basically where that 500's at, it goes from 500 to infinity and 200's clear down here. So you've got a lot more parallax adjustment in a shorter space there. Or in a longer space. It's just easier to get the parallax where you want it from 2 to infinity. The Arkin is 200 to infinity where that 500's at, and it's really hard to get your parallax nailed down. I will say the parallax on this coincided with the numbers on the parallax ring almost perfectly. Let's take that for what it's worth. The magnification ring is very smooth, and it's on this particular iteration, it seems just about perfect tension. You can turn it without the throw lever. It's a little hard when it's not mounted on a rifle. One thing I liked about this is it's a 180-degree throw. So on 25 power, you're sticking straight out the left. On 5 power, you're on the right. I will say, without these absurdly high rings, it is possible that your bolt might hit the throw lever. It didn't on the Ruger American I had this mounted on, but it might if you have it lower, like on a Remington 700. These rings would absolutely not work without an adjustable comb. I could put my hand between the rifle and the ocular lens, or the objective lens, when it was mounted on that rifle. But it worked perfect because that particular rifle is what I run my thermal on, and my thermal sits really high. So I literally strapped this on, and it was perfect eye alignment. So I'm going to end this video here. We'll go into the next video, talk about the glass quality and a little bit of comparison with other optics that I had yesterday when it comes to the optical quality. And then I'll go over some issues I had yesterday, which were fairly minor, and maybe 1 or 2 things that I wish they would do just a hair differently. So guys, go check out part 2 right after this one. Okay, now we're going to talk part 2 here of the Discovery Optics Gen 2 5-25 ED-PRS, I'm saying this wrong, ED-PRS Gen 2 5-25 by 56 first focal plane. This optic is only available in mils. I think it's only available in one reticle. So you don't have a whole lot of options there. I will say the reticle, I liked the reticle. It's a floating dot. It's got decent hash marks. It's very usable reticle. So it's a Christmas tree style reticle. It was very, very usable. The glass on this now, let's get into the nitty gritty. The glass on this thing, it really did kind of surprise me. It really blew me away. Edge-to-edge clarity, from what I could tell. It's got a small amount of chromatic aberration on super white, bright items. That's the only place I could really pick it out yesterday. I was able to adjust the parallax and the eyepiece very well. The reticle seemed to be fully in focus when I had it at the range yesterday. You know, I always look at the sky, adjust my fast focus eyepiece. That does turn very well. It's got a lot of tension to it, which I actually like because it doesn't lock. But once you get it where you want it, it should be good. But like I said, guys, the glass on this really did surprise me. It was better than the EPL4. I wish I had an EP5 to compare this to. This thing smoked the EPL4. Not smoked, it was considerably better. It smoked the Vortex Viper HST that I had. I mean, obliterated that thing. Which, that's not a great optic quality anyway. It is better glass than my Burris XTR2, considerably better. And, drum roll, I had my Vortex Viper PST Gen 2 with me yesterday. This glass, I feel, was better than the Viper PST Gen 2. I did not compare them in low light. This was strictly just noonish to 2 o'clock in bright sun and wind. I could cut the Mirage better, considerably better with this optic than I could the EPL4 out to 600 yards. And when comparing it to the Viper PST Gen 2, there's a steel target at 600 yards that has chains holding it up. I could get the chain links in much better focus with this than I could my PST Gen 2. Not much better, but there was a noticeable difference in clarity on like the chains and the details. I could pick the bullet splashes out on the steel at 600 yards fairly easily. And honestly, it really surprised me. There happened to be another gentleman at the range yesterday, and I kind of wanted a subjective opinion because our Discovery did send me this for free. And I made another video earlier saying that they have offered me a 15% commission with a link. And I'm going to put that in the video because I do feel like, honestly, this is a quality optic for the price point. Right now you can get this for it's $3.99 on their Amazon link. There's a $50 coupon on there right now for me. I'm not sure if it's for everybody else, but you can knock it down to $3.50. And then they did give me a 10% off coupon for you guys. I asked for a coupon, they gave me 10%. And I'm going to put all that in the link here. I'll put the link to this in my link tree in my bio. I'll try to put it in the comments, but I don't think TikTok's going to let me. And I will put the discount code in the comments and in the video description, so you guys can get the discount code for it. And you might be able to stack the discount code with the coupon. I'll find out and let you guys know at the end of this video. But so I had somebody at the range that was shooting Night Force custom rifles, had lab radar. He was an optic snob like myself, because I don't dabble in these lower tier optics very often. And I wanted another person that obviously has looked through good glass to look through it and tell me what they thought. He asked me what it cost. I said, I'm not going to tell you any of that yet. He asked me what it was. I said, I'm not going to tell you that yet. Just give me your honest review. And he was a hunter, more of a hunter, but he was shooting custom rifles and stuff like that. His one complaint was that the knobs are too big for him, but he's a hunter. But he said they're very tactile. He said the glass was edge to edge, very clear. And I agreed with him. And other than just weighing a ton, I let him play with all the turrets. I hadn't even zeroed it yet. So I was like, just go ham on this thing. Crank it, whatever you want to do. And we both agreed that we had a hard time finding many faults with this optic. I will say one thing that I'm a little concerned about is if you look at the ocular lens, there's very little recess to the eye cup. And I keep touching that and putting fingerprints all over it. I have checked that with the scope cap on there, it does not touch the glass. But man, does that thing stick out far, and I'm worried it's going to get scratched. I wish it had a little bit better eye cup on it so that it had a little more protection. The only other issue I had yesterday, and I think it might be the mounts that caused it. I don't know if you can see this. I only have, so this is zeroed for the Creedmoor. And as anybody that's zeroed a rifle scope knows, this is most likely not the optic, but I only have 4.5 mils to the right of travel, and I have a ton to the left. So I'm not sure. I'm thinking I might try to grab another set of 34mm rings, put this on a rifle that's a little different rifle, and see if that changes. But return to zero. I zeroed this. I shot out to 600 yards. I went crazy on both turrets. Went back to zero and shot right back through my sight-in group. So it returns to zero very well. I put the data for the rifle that I was shooting in my Strelok and dialed from 100 all the way out to 6 in 100-yard increments. And I was within 0.2 to 1/10 of a mil on my ballistics all the way out. And that could have been a dozen different things. I think it's tracking very well. I couldn't really do a tracking test yesterday. The wind was blowing 20 miles an hour. So, but yeah, guys, I was very apprehensive but cautiously optimistic about this. The only other complaint I could have, and you know this before you purchase these things, is it's heavy. It's heavy and big. So if you guys have any questions about this, let me know in the comments. If you got anybody you think that might be interested in this, share it. It seems like a decent optic. It is cheaper than an EPL5. I wish I had an EPL5 to put this next to. But it is cheaper. It does come with, you know, accessories and stuff that the Arken doesn't come with. So just take that for what it's worth. I think I really do have a hard time finding something wrong. I think I'm actually going to put this on my smokeless muzzleloader build to see if I can fuck it up. But just until I get my Razor Gen 2, this might just go on the smokeless muzzleloader and we'll see if we can hammer it. Again, if you guys are interested, I'll put the link in my link tree in my bio for the Amazon link to this. Full disclosure, if you use that link, it gives me a 15% commission. If you don't want to use that link, just go to Amazon and search Discovery Optics and find this optic and buy it, and you can take that completely out of the equation. Any little bit of help is great, because if I can start making a little money on this, I will go purchase an EPL5 just to run next to this optic. But I get it too. People want to be an unbiased opinion, and I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I can't find much wrong with it. The guy at the range yesterday that obviously has good taste in optics and rifles couldn't find much wrong with it. So I don't know if you guys want to. I don't know anything about their customer service. It's a full lifetime, supposedly lifetime transferable warranty. I can't tell you anything more than that, guys. I don't know anything about their customer service. I don't know anything about that. I had this in 2 days after they told me they shipped it. So I don't know. If you guys want to give them a shot, I'm not going to tell you not to. For $400, I think it's a hell of a deal, and it's actually, you can get it for under 350 bucks right now. So right around 350 bucks with a coupon that's on Amazon, and hopefully you can add that 10% coupon. I will find out right now and let you know, but let me know what you guys think in the comments. All right, guys, so just so you know, with the $50 coupon that's available from Amazon and the 10% promotion code, you can use them both. It knocks us down to 338 bucks shipped to my door with tax and everything. That's a win-win to me, honestly, after being behind this thing. I'm hoping it maintains all of its tracking and stuff like that, but I don't know of anything else at 338 bucks that competes with this thing. So try it if you guys want to. I'll put all the information where it's available.